Welcome to The Culture. We rest at the pulse of the community, providing all things news, music, fashion, events, and everything that we talk about in between. It's a lifestyle. We are The Culture. Hi, and welcome to The Culture. I'm your host, Jessica Garrett-Motkins, and joining us this week is Miami-Dade County's Mayor, Daniella Levine Cava. Welcome to the show.
Thrilled to be with you again, Jessica. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Miami-Dade County officially recognized Juneteenth as a holiday for the first time. And on June 19th, you gave a proclamation to Mayor Rodney Harris for the City of Miami Gardens Juneteenth Celebration Day. Miami Gardens is the largest Black community or city within Miami-Dade County and actually in Florida. What significance does this mean for you?
It's so important. I'm thrilled that we have a city that's dedicated to making sure that its entire community is uplifted, but with a special heritage, cultural heritage of a Black community here in Miami-Dade County. So very, very proud, and all the things that this city has achieved in a very short period of time. The leadership that has emerged after all, our recent past mayor has now become the vice chair of the Miami-Dade County Commission and also serves as the chair of our transportation planning organization. I personally hired J.D. Patterson as my chief of public safety, coming out of his role at Miami Gardens. Shirley Gibson, who was the founding mayor, a dear friend, someone I admire so greatly, just really proving that this city can stand up on its own 2 feet and negotiate with the best. And so to celebrate Juneteenth for the first official time with Miami Gardens was very special.
Nice. So you hit the ground running, Mayor Levine Cava. During your first 100 days in office, you launched the Office of Equity and Inclusion, and we've discussed many victories in that office with Jason Smith here on the show. But can you give us an update on your goal to normalize equality and inclusion in county government?
Yes, thank you. So I'm thrilled to have this office. We talked about it on the campaign trail. Jason is my trusted advisor on issues of equity and inclusion even before I was mayor, so in my commission office. And he has been hitting the ground running too. So we've been focusing a lot on the ramp up on issues of procurement in county government because this is something that really hits the pocketbook, hits the economic strength of our diverse communities, and making sure that the Black community especially, which has really been facing some challenges with the fact that we had a disparity study that said, we had to do these other race neutral things first to see if we could improve upon the disproportionate impact. And, over the time before I came in as mayor, we had not been doing enough, in my opinion. We had not been monitoring it as carefully as we needed to. And we do have a good office of small business enterprise that is doing the job, but needs to be more aggressive and keep better track so we can monitor progress. So we are in the process of procurement reform across the county, including equity in everything that we do. You'll be seeing shortly that procurement reform package. As well, we've been meeting with the Alliance of Advocacy around Black contracting and economic issues, the Black Alliance, and we've been meeting and getting ideas from them and from others. We had a public procurement reform online workshop to get input. As well, we've had a separate meeting on the disparity study with some key organizations. So that has been a first piece of the puzzle, but we are also looking at equity in gender, in disability issues, and making sure that we're aligning ourselves with the advocacy groups that are doing that in the public sector and in the private sector. We have a lot of private businesses that have put equity at the forefront. And we want to lift up those that are doing a great job. We want to make sure to set a high standard So stay tuned for showcasing the good that's going on, including recently. I was just looking at the details this morning. The Miami Foundation put together a racial equity program with $1 million, and they've awarded their first round of grants as well in this area. Very promising.
Nice. A few weeks ago, the commission approved the Peace and Prosperity Plan. It's a 32-page document that was actually your vision. What was the catalyst to develop the Peace and Prosperity Plan?
Well, it is a lifetime of work for me on making sure that our neighborhoods are safe for everybody, all neighborhoods, and that everybody has access to opportunity and equal opportunity, to the American dream, to support their families and so on. That to be said, I have to give credit to Commissioner Hardiman. Commissioner Hardiman is the commissioner of the district where the arena is located, the Miami Heat Arena. And he needed by law to sponsor the resolution to accept the new naming rights partner, which is FTX, a cryptocurrency exchange. And it was his idea to dedicate those funds specifically to violence and poverty alleviation. So we got together and we came up with a plan that would allow each commissioner to dedicate some dollars in their districts for specific things that they would know would make a difference, as well the majority of the funds, $90 million over 19 years, to be dedicated to county-wide efforts focusing on those neighborhoods where there is the greatest disparity and the greatest propensity, unfortunately, to violence. So that was the inspiration, a combination of my life's endeavors and Commissioner Hardiman's, and the approval, as you say, finally, of the entire county commission.
Can you explain to us the rollout of Operation Summer Heat and how it's going to benefit various communities throughout Miami-Dade?
Yeah, so, when we first got about putting this Peace and Prosperity Plan together, we hadn't had this alarming uptick of mass shootings in the city of Miami, in Northwest Dade, in Kendall. So we had this increase that is coming, unfortunately, across the country. We believe it's coming out of the pandemic, frustrations, pent-up trauma and stress, people solving problems on their own, retaliation. And these crimes were committed as targeted crimes. These are not the disaffected individuals going into a crowded place trying to get publicity for themselves in this horrific and heinous way. These are people who were truly trying to target somebody, and they did not care who got in their way. So we had to ramp up our enforcement efforts. We needed to increase our police intelligence. We needed to put more of our officers on the street, but also in the crime-solving teams. And so all of our law enforcement agencies across the county with our state and federal partners came together and pledged a 12-week ramp-up summer heat operation. And in the first 2 weeks, 400 felons off the street, 200 firearms off the street, illegal firearms. So this has been hugely successful. And we also teamed up with our code enforcement office to shut down venues that have attracted illegal activity, such as the El Mula Banquet Hall, where the horrific mass shooting took place. And so we really are very proud of what our law enforcement was able to do in short order, and to couple it with the prevention side of peace and prosperity. So we're putting in more intelligence officers to look at social media, because a lot of this is playing out on social media. We brought our own state attorney to a high crime area so we could accelerate the prosecution, and additional cameras with businesses where there's high crime that go directly to the crime center.
And we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have more with Mayor Daniella Levine Cava.
The COVID-19 vaccine is here. We're giving it our best shot for a strong, healthy community. Find out more at miamidade.gov/vaccine. Take your best shot at life. Get vaccinated.
And welcome back. We're talking about the Peace and Prosperity Plan. Mayor Cava, can you explain the approach, prevention, intervention, and reentry?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jessica. So, prevention has these many components. Clearly, we'd like to get to children early in their development. That's going to be part of it. Two, we're gathering all the neighborhood-based and community organizations and faith-based groups that are working with our children and families to help them be strong in the face of trauma, in the face of financial struggles, housing struggles, school struggles, all of that. But we specifically in this plan, which of course it's a good amount of money, but when you spread it out across 19 years, we wanted to have an immediate and big impact. So we particularly talk about intervention. These are young people, 300 plus, over the course of the year, 500, who have already been identified by our juvenile justice system as going down that wrong path or at high risk for going down that wrong path. And we're giving them alternatives. We're giving them well-paid jobs, living wage jobs, job training, coaching, mentoring, life skills training, helping them to see a different path forward, a different future. This will bring real cash to their households. It will deter them from hanging out with the wrong kind and trying to find jobs, of the illegal sort. And we're very excited. It's called Fit to Lead. It's a program that's been evidence-based, proven effective at reducing crime in the neighborhoods where it has been conducted. And so we're expanding on that and recruiting jobs, by the way, even in the county building. So we are ready to bring these young people in to welcome and offer them a helping hand.
So this multi-pronged approach, we've touched on job creation, counseling. We didn't really talk about economic development in underserved areas and community revitalization. Can you touch on those two?
Yes,
please?
thank you so much. And that is part of the plan as well. So we have dollars from the federal government, our community development block grant dollars that are specifically about neighborhood revitalization. And because of some additional dollars from CARES Act funding, federal dollars, we were able to target this round for the neighborhoods hardest hit. And we'll be doing some mini grants to improve conditions in neighborhoods hardest hit, whether it's cleaning up a vacant lot that has been a breeding ground for crime, fixing dilapidated buildings, putting up signage that's attractive and draws people to a neighborhood, all kinds of small investments that pay off and are proven to reduce crime in those neighborhoods. The broken window syndrome, they sometimes call it. And this is going to be coupled with a new neighborhood safety office that we're creating. And there will be people dedicated to working with these disinvested neighborhoods to not only take advantage of these small dollars, but to help plan with communities how to do economic development, how to start a small business, how to put people to work in the neighborhood. So again, this is something that Commissioner Hardiman is very supportive of, as the other commissioners are too, and we'll be targeting dollars in our existing programs to that kind of locally based economic development.
And in that vein of locally based, and with your background in nonprofits, what I liked about that 32-page document that I read immediately after it was approved was how the guided programmatic aspect of it partnered with organizations that were already on, or is said to be on the ground,
yes.
That would be responsible for the activation. Can you explain why that was the approach, as opposed to, I believe I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you, as opposed to bringing in outside organizations to activate this?
We have to build the capacity of our local leadership. there's no point in reinventing the wheel. We have people that are based in neighborhoods that know those neighborhoods. They know the people. they are the ones. For example, right now with the Fit to Lead, even we're going into neighborhoods and asking people to help us identify who really we need to be serving. But as far as partnerships with small businesses, with nonprofits, definitely. These are the ones that are really keeping these neighborhoods alive very often. And they have been very under-resourced. So as a matter of fact, I just got off a phone call with our budget team at the county, and we're going to be putting more dollars into the American Rescue Plan as well to support our small businesses and organizations that are on the ground in communities. So this is a part of what I've always done, and it is a part of what I will bring to County Hall.
Interesting, because that takes me to my next question, and it was in regards to small businesses, because we're looking at a light finally at the number of COVID cases. With the number of COVID deaths, there is some hope. But COVID really has changed the trajectory of many small businesses, and there are some that are still looking for assistance, and wanted to find out from you, what were some of the programs that your office was still working on to assist small businesses?
In the Office of Equity and Inclusion, Danilo Vargas is my small business innovation lead, and he has been partnering with the incubators across the county to make it a virtual platform where everyone can participate across all the neighborhoods. One of them is the Opelika CDC that has a very strong incubator. Also in Commissioner McGee's district, as part of his safety net program, he is including at Larcenia Bullard with NANA incubators. NANA does run incubators around the county as well. So we're going to be bringing those small business supports countywide. That could include everything from marketing support to financial mentoring, coaching, assistance, shared space, support to apply for grants and opportunities. That reminds me of something I have to tell my business, my people working on the budget. I wrote it down. So, you know, these are all building on those who are there, who are struggling, who have managed to get through this pandemic through their sheer grit and determination and ability to be agile and adapt. And we know that they are the backbone of our economy. So while we're bringing in the new economy and making sure that it's a pipeline for good jobs for our local people, not just the folks moving here, we also need to shore up that basic backbone of our economy. And it is coming back, but not quickly enough. And we know people are still struggling. So we're going to do everything in our power to bring them up.
Thank you for that. And you're partnering with State Attorney Kathleen Rundle to develop a task force to combat crimes against the elderly, which is very important with the Black community. Can you explain what your vision is for that task force?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for bringing that up. Very shocking what's going on, unfortunately. We know that fraud is really the new normal in the crime world. Gangs that used to, be on the street are now behind their computers cooking up schemes. So we have a lot of people preying on the elderly, and especially because of those folks who are living in neighborhoods that are now gaining in value. So, for example, the case that was showcased was another Shirley Gibson, who lives in Coconut Grove. Her home owned by the family for 100 years, free and clear. Somebody went in, she went to pay her property tax and learned that somebody had come in and paid her property tax and registered a quitclaim deed, obviously forging her signature. And fortunately, she had some good help, and immediately it was brought to the state attorney and police attention, and they were able to identify the perpetrators and arrest them. But this is an ongoing problem. I've been aware of this problem for many years. My background is in social work. I know seniors are very vulnerable. Even my own parents have been approached and fallen victim to lesser forms of this kind of exploitation. But we have to be extremely aggressive in fighting this exploitation of our seniors. And so we're going to pull together across the board task force of law enforcement, social agencies, financial experts. Sometimes it really takes financial investigation to get to the bottom of these schemes.
Yes. Well, thank you for being at the helm of that. I know just in speaking with my mother, we were going through her bills and all of these things. And it takes a village to be able to explain the new ways that people are attacking our seniors. Well, thank you so much, Mayor Daniella Levine Cava, for joining us, sharing your insight with our Black viewers. We really will stay to the pulse of everything that you're doing, because we know what you do will ultimately affect our communities. And we welcome you to come back anytime you would like.
Thank you, Jessica, for your fabulous coverage on the culture. You're on top of the issues, and here we are looking ahead to some challenges, but also celebrating Juneteenth.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Holiday.
And thank you all for watching us here on Video Mix TV. And for those of you streaming, don't forget to join us tonight at 6 p.m. on YouTube Live and Facebook Live for another edition of My Two Cents. Grab a drink, set your alarm clock for a good time. Like, share, and subscribe. And thank you again for joining us.
The Culture is produced and owned by Hip Rock Star Media and cannot be reproduced or broadcast without written consent by Jessica Garrett Motkins. All rights reserved 2020.